Thank you, Madam Chair and members. I'd love to present Assembly Bill 1432, which would require out-of-state health insurance carriers who provide coverage to California residents and whom are currently exempted from state laws to comply with California state laws pertaining to coverage of abortion and gender-affirming care. This change is consistent with California constitutional amendment, which provides reproductive freedom as a right. Currently, there is an exemption for policies issued outside of California to an employer whose principal place of business and majority of employees are outside of California. This exception is a major concern because since the U.S. Supreme Court overturned the 5-decade-old constitutional right to obtain an abortion, there has been a wave of anti-choice legislation across the nation, and there has also been a growing number of states banning gender-affirming care. We should do as much as we can to ensure that California residents and workers have access to these health care services regardless of where their health insurance policy or certificate of healthcare service plan contracted is issued or delivered. AB 1432 is a priority to the Legislative Women's Caucus and the future of Abortion Council. This bill is sponsored by the California Department of Insurance and Equality California. With us today to testify in support are representatives from our co-sponsors, Josephine Figueroa, Chief Deputy for the California Department of Insurance, and Craig Polisher, Legislative Director for Equality California. For any technical support, Stacia Hodges with the Department of Insurance is also available. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First person speaking in support, please.
Good afternoon, Chair and members. Craig Pulsfer on behalf of Equality California, proud co-sponsor. As you all know, California has some of the strongest protections in the nation for abortion and gender-affirming care. Yet access to these services is under attack across the country like never before. Following the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, most abortions are now banned in over a dozen states, and this year alone, at least 18 laws have been enacted restricting access to gender-affirming care for trans youth, care that is backed by decades of research and supported by every major medical association. In fact, just yesterday, a federal court blocked Arkansas's ban on gender-affirming care, concluding that it was unconstitutional and violated due process and equal protection rights of trans youth. No one in our state should be subject to these discriminatory and unconstitutional out-of-state laws. But under existing law, insurance provided by employers located out of state with out-of-state insurance contracts may not cover abortion or gender-affirming care. AB 1432 is an important and necessary step to ensure that all California residents have access to the essential health care they need, despite the discriminatory actions of other states. And I respectfully urge your aye vote.
Thank you very much. Next person speaking in support, please.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members. Josephine Figueroa, Chief Deputy Legislative Director for the Department of Insurance, under the leadership of Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara. We are proud co-sponsors of AB 1432. I first would like to thank Assemblymember Carrillo for authoring this important measure. Body autonomy and integrity are under attack throughout the United States. We have all heard about the bans on abortion and gender-affirming care, and these attacks are only getting worse. Abortion is outright banned in 13 states, with another 12 states limiting access between 6 and 22 weeks. As of March of this year, 30 states have either restricted gender-affirming care or are considering laws that do. 9 states have enacted legislation bans on gender-affirming care for youth and young adults. Several proposed bans would limit access for youth up to age 26. The Missouri Attorney General issued an order restricting gender-affirming health care for minors and adults. We must ensure that these egregious laws do not find their way into health insurance coverage for California residents. Although California does have strong consumer protections in place regarding abortion and gender-affirming care in health coverage, there are certain instances where California residents and their dependents are not afforded protections found in state law. AB 1432 seeks to eliminate this loophole to ensure that California residents are afforded these protections. AB 1432 is just one step we can take to recognize a person's ability to make decisions about their own body, which is fundamental to the ability of a person to fully enjoying their rights. As a state, we have a duty to protect California residents from the laws of other states that police their bodies and the bodies of their loved ones. On behalf of Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara, I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you very much. Anybody else speaking in support? Now would be the time to come forward with just your name and affiliation.
Ryan Souza on behalf of the San Francisco AIDS Foundation and APLA Health in support. Thank you.
Karen Stout on behalf of NARAL Pro-Choice California and the California Nurse Midwives Association in support.
Thank you very much.
Noah Bartelt on behalf of ACLU California in support. Thank you.
One moment, Mr. Bartel.
Yeah.
I understand you're my nephew Matias Kisside's friend from Stanford.
Indeed I am, yes. You're
Welcome,
on, right?
welcome to the Capitol and
Great
your
to meet you.
internship at ACLU. All right. Next person, please.
Jennifer Robles with Health Access California in support.
Thank you.
Madam Chair and Senators, Michelle Teran-Woolfolk with the California Commission on the Status of Women and Girls in support of AB 1432.
Thank you very much. Next person, please.
Alexis Rodriguez with the California Medical Association in support.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Genesis Gonzalez on behalf of Lieutenant Governor Lenny Kounalakis in support. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Molly Robeson with Planned Parenthood Affiliates of California in support.
Thank you very much. Okay, anybody speaking in opposition to this bill, now would be the time to come forward.
You give me some attention.
Chair members, my name is Greg Birch with the California Family Council, and we are opposed to AB 1432. I just want to bring up two important points that hasn't been brought up so far. First, California state officials just agreed last month to pay out $1.4 million to taxpayer money to cover the attorney fees for violating the First Amendment rights of 4 churches. One of the cases was Skyline Wesleyan Church versus California Department of Managed Health Care. They filed a lawsuit back in 2016 when the California Department of Managed Health Care decided on its own to require all health insurance plans to cover abortion with no exceptions for religious organizations opposed to abortion. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I see no exemptions in this bill for religious organizations, so I'm not sure how you're going to avoid being sued again. So love to have that question answered. Secondly, this bill mandates that insurance cover the medical transitioning of minors with drugs and surgery that you call gender-affirming care, as though those treatments are well-established, harmless ways to treat kids with gender dysphoria. Yet at the same time, countries not known for being conservative are turning away from these treatments because of the terrible side effects and scientifically unreliable research on these treatments. Sweden, Finland, Norway, England are all turning away from gender-affirming care for minors. And these are not red states. We delivered to your offices yesterday a summary of the research showing the scientific evidence has not shown that cross-sex treatments are beneficial to children or adolescents. Here's a quote from Sweden's National Board of Health Care, which it says, deems adolescents that are at risk, that the risk of puberty suppressing treatment and gender affirming hormonal treatment currently outweighs the possible benefits based on continued lack of reliable scientific evidence concerning the efficacy and the safety of both treatments. Here's what England's National Service said. They determined that gender incongruence usually does not persist into adolescence and that psychological support and watchful approach are generally recommended instead of social transitioning due to the risk that puberty that puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones will only be allowed for minors in a research study. So I guess my point is the science is not settled, and you can't simply dismiss these countries reversing course on gender-affirming care as motivated by hate. That claim is not going to work anymore, so I plead you to honestly deal with these concerns. I would love to hear what you think about what's happening in Europe. So thank you.
Next person speaking in opposition? Seeing none, we'll go to the phone lines now. Moderator, are there any calls on AB 1432? Now it's just your name and affiliation, please, and your support or opposition.
And if you wish to speak in support or opposition, please press 1, then 0 at this time. We'll start with line 30. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Rebecca Gonzalez with the National Association of Social Workers California chapter in support.
Thank you. Next caller, please.
Line 49, please go ahead.
Penny Harrington from San Diego County in opposition.
Thank you. Next caller, please.
And Madam Chair, we have no one else in queue wishing to speak.
Okay, now would be the time to bring it back to the dais. Senator Wiener.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I move the bill and thank the author for bringing this forward to make clear that in California, insurance companies can't discriminate no matter where they're headquartered. I do just want to say there, I know there's always the sort of right-wing forces that want to basically have LGBTQ people disappear. They just literally want us to evaporate or go back in the closet or whatever it is they want to do with us. And they try to make it only about trans kids. They were only worried about trans kids. Of course, trans kids should have access to health care just like anyone else. But we saw today a very right-wing court, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit, ruled that employers can fire LGBTQ people or not hire them solely based on the fact that they're gay or lesbian or trans. So this fight goes well beyond healthcare for trans kids. Healthcare for trans kids is incredibly important, but this is a broader fight. And as much as the opposition tries to claim that it's some very narrow concern they have, it's not. They want all of us to disappear, and so bills like this are incredibly important. And so, thank you for bringing it forward.
Would you like to close, Assemblymember?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Senator, for your comments. At the end of the day, no matter where an insurance company is located across the United States, California has the strongest protections for reproductive freedom in the entire nation, and Californians should not be subjected to laws of other states when receiving their health care. Respectfully request an aye vote.
We'll take that up when we have a quorum. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.